Hello, it's Mark Coxon. I'm with Chief Manufacturing, and we are showing off our CONNEXSYS line of video wall mounts today. This is a product that was in the making for a couple years. What we did is we really went on a trip with our customers. We went out and went on multiple video wall installs, took a lot of feedback from installation in the field, and then came up with this product last year, brought it to InfoComm but not on the floor in the back room, let some dealers come in under NDA, tear the mount apart, tell us what they liked and didn't like, and redesigned it and launched it at DSE this year back in March. So the first thing that we did is we really wanted to take a lot of the work out of a video wall. So measurement was always a problem, getting mounts aligned and having to measure them out on the wall. So the first thing we did is we actually based this product on unistrut. So you can see across here there's strut channel that goes across. So what you do is you actually just have to put up a piece of unistrut the width of your wall. You don't have to, you level that unistrut, now you don't have to worry about where your mount spacing is at. The mounts click right into the unistrut. Your first adjustment laterally, that you can slide them together as close as you need to. The only measurement an installer really needs to know besides the wall width is the height of the display. So if you know the height from here to here, that's where your next piece of unistrut goes on the wall. That's going to be your next top rail. Click in your next row. So that solved problem number one. Problem number two is always Z-axis. Now we've had a mount for a while for accessibility. So these have a cable pull system, and what we can do, we can label these. So you can see row 2, column 4. I can pull this out, and now this mount comes out. I can access this screen for service. I don't have to remove the screens around it. I get my Z-axis that comes out. The other thing that's never been in a mount before is independent depth adjustment. So I used to do some video walls as an integrator, and inevitably the niche was deeper on one side than the other. So how do you plane those screens back out to get them flush with the front wall? We had to use washers and spacers and all those things. So what we did instead is we actually have a toolless depth adjustment. So I can independently adjust the depth of this mount on each side. The home position can go from 4 up to 7.3 inches. I have 3.3 inches. Hopefully the carpenter was better at square than 3.3 out of plane, but if he wasn't, we can fix it. So that's number one. Number two, we have toolless tilt. Again, a knob here that drives my tilt on the display. I have my roll, so I can adjust the height of the monitor both sides independently. So if I need to roll that monitor or to adjust it up or down to match, I do that here. These are ratcheting, so as I push them down and turn, it goes up or down. I can push it back the other way, or I have an Allen key on top. But the point is I don't have to have a tool to make this happen. So between all those things, that gives me all 6 degrees of motion. I have my left-right depth, I have my tilt, and I have my roll. So just like a platform, I can get any plane adjusted in the mount and not have to take anything off the wall toolless to do that. The other piece here is it's actually a very quick release. It's hard to do with one hand. I can't do it with one hand actually. We'll let Pat help me here. So we have this. We also have kickstands, if you let go of that, Pat. So we also have kickstands on the mount. One of the pieces of feedback we got was our kickstands have always been too short before. We doubled the length of those. I can get in here and do my wiring, do any of that on the piece. And then the last thing that happens is once you get all those other planes in line, you may have a gap that you want to close on these monitors. You can see here, if Pat's looking at this one, you can see that this monitor is overlapping this one. So instead of having to laterally adjust this to try to get it back in, I actually have a lateral adjustment here. So I can actually inch that monitor back over to where it needs to be with this micro adjust on the threads, get it back in line, and then click it back into my home position. He's pulling it while I'm pulling it, but that's okay. So that is CONNEXSYS in a nutshell. Speed, ease of use, very rigid mount, ease of access, ease of install. And if you have more questions, you can go to chiefmfg.com.